Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to Coffee and Sports, the morning show. I'm here with my boy Mo this morning. Mo, how you doing, brother? Boy, froze, man. What's going on? Your mic's muted, Mo, man. We having some technical difficulties this morning.
It happens like that sometimes, I guess.
What's going on, man? How was your weekend, brother?
It was great. I was blessed. How about yours?
Hey, man, watching all the sports conversations and things like that of that nature, man. It's getting a little crazy out there. People not respecting Bam, putting the asterisk on him, man, after the 83-point game, man. But that's what I want to start off with, man. Seems like it's split out there in the world, man. A lot of the OGs in basketball, not really respecting the 83 yet. Some of the veteran reporters and things like that, putting the ashes on it. Some people just like, yeah, Bam did it. You know, Eric Spoelstra and Bam firing off in press conferences, man. They think Eric Spoelstra should apologize for, the integrity and it being unethical, stuff like that. And what's your take on it, Mo?
My take is if you have a chance or an opportunity to make history and you don't go for it, to me, you're kind of cheating the game that way too, right? If you have that opportunity. If you want to nitpick and say, look, they were fouling late to extend possessions and giving more opportunities, that that actually is a fair criticism. What I'd like to point out to everybody is you got to remember Bam Adebayo is not a lottery pick. I think he was like the 15th pick in the draft. And coming out in the draft, everybody knew he was athletic, but raw, not a natural offensive talent. He's worked himself into becoming an all-star caliber player, but primarily because of what he does defensively. The last 4 seasons, you could probably book him for like 18, 19 points a game. That's who he is
And he only put up
offensively.
20 this year.
Right. And by the way, the 20 came, it was really like, it was like 19. And then he had the 83-point game and then pushed him up to 20. But right. So he's not a natural scorer. So I get how people are a little thrown off when a guy who's not a natural scorer has 83 points. But I think that would be my argument. If you're not a natural scorer and you have an 83-point game, it's probably going to look a lot like the game that Bam had. It's going to look amazing in the first half when he had 43 points and kind of ugly in the second half when he was in the 60s or 70s and they realized he had a chance to go beyond Kobe. So look, I'm not going to attack Bam or his integrity because all he's done has been a great representative for the league. He's a terrific player on and off the court. He had an opportunity to make history and he went for it. And I know the criticism is out there now, but and I know 20, 30 years from now, they're just going to know Bam scored 83 points. That
Now,
the number won't change, right?
it won't, man. But everybody who's up there is either an all-time great for their franchise or they're just a Hall of Fame legend type player, right? So, do we see Bam being one of those in the future? Buddy's what, 8 years in the league now? You see
Right.
him touching that Hall of Fame status at least?
Being a legend, no. I
But
mean,
not like a legend, but more Hall of Fame status because he ain't on a legend trajectory right now.
I think that he's got some work to go or put in terms of establishing himself as a Hall of Fame player. I believe. I think he's made like 3 All-Star teams. He's made like 5 or 6 All NBA defensive teams. He has competed in 2 NBA finals. But I don't think that right now, if he stopped playing today, they'd be like Bam's a Hall of Fame player. So I think he's got some work. And it's weird, right? Because he does have the 83 now in his resume, but I don't think even with the 83, he's not a Hall of Fame player. So could he get in the Hall of Fame one day? He could. I think the ire is because people, like you said, most of the people who scored 70 or more, they're usually all primary scorers, right? When you think of Booker and Donovan Mitchell,
Dame
Luka,
Luca.
right, Dame, those are primary. So I understand it, but I'm not gonna criticize Bam for going for history. Look, you can knock Eric Spoelstra because he's the head coach, right? And they were up in a blowout, right? This was a blowout. You can easily say, why is Bam still in the game? Y'all up 30.
Yeah, that's what my take was on. I'm like, bro, when Kobe was doing it, they didn't start blowing the Raptors out, well, getting a good lead on them until the fourth quarter. I think it was close up until what, third quarter, and when they was playing against the Raptors.
Right. So I don't. Again, you can criticize the Heat. I'm not going to criticize Bam, the player. He didn't leave himself in the game. That's on Spoelstra. Spoelstra could easily take him out. They're blowing them out.
We got Gene's disagreeing with you and Brett's take on this, man.
Well, you can disagree.
He said I completely disagree with Mo and Brett's take on this. Purposely missed free throws, fouling the other team to get more possessions. Shot 43% for 33% from three. 43 free throws. It was a joke.
So all those things are true. But I think the bigger picture, and you might can appreciate this, Carmike, the anger about the 83, I feel like coming from most people is because he passed Kobe. and the Kobe fans live in a completely different universe than most of us. Like, I feel like if Bam had scored 79, he would have been straight because he wouldn't have passed Kobe. And I don't understand why that's like the lynch point for where you score points, because too many people keep saying he broke Kobe's record. Kobe doesn't hold a record. Wilt Chamberlain is the record holder all time. All he did was move Kobe from second to third. Nobody and nobody looks at Bam and goes, man, Bam's better than Kobe. Or nobody's saying crazy stuff. He simply passed Kobe. And by the way, Kobe's 81-point game, I watched it, saw the whole game. It's an incredible game. But when Kobe scored 81 and we were all into it for the moment, you know what I didn't say? I didn't say anything crazy. I didn't say that did it. Kobe's better than Michael Jordan. No, that didn't change anything because he's not better than Michael Jordan.
But Kobe already had 3 rings by then. You know what I mean?
Right, but the rings have nothing to do with a regular season moment. It was a regular season game, and they did win. I want to remind people because I did watch the game. The Lakers got up. Now, it was a close game. You're right. But at one point with 4 minutes left in the game, we're up 17. You know who's still in the game? Kobe's still in the game.
Okay, man, at that point, why not, man? He had to get,
I'm not arguing
he had a monkey on his back.
I'm not arguing with you. But so that's probably the argument that Eric Spoelstra would make. Well, look, we got to the point where Bam had 77. We're like, you know what? We're going to extend the game and give him a chance to get this, break this, make this incredible number. Look, I don't agree with the way that it happened, but I'm not going to kill the player. You could call it the most ugliest 83-point game in NBA history. I didn't see the 100-point game. I don't know who saw the 100-point game because it wasn't televised.
So it could be all smoke and mirrors.
I don't want to know. Will, I'm just saying that like the only people that saw it was the people that was on the court. You know what I mean? And they're all dead. So
I think it's just because it was Bam, though, man. To be honest with you, because I think if Tatum did it, nobody probably would have said nothing. SGA, Joker, Luka. I think if when D Book scored it as early his 70 early in the career, if he would have passed, if that was his 83 instead, I think they would have said something about D Book because he was just getting into the game. Like he ain't a superstar yet. But Bam, do you consider Bam a superstar in the league?
No, he's not a superstar.
I think that's the problem right there.
Well, so right. So let me make another comp. I guess this would be comparable to, let's say, if we were in the 90s and out of nowhere AC Green scored 80 points. See,
I think he got a better skill set than AC Green, though. Man.
No, I'm clearly, but what I'm saying is I'm making a point. AC Green, I think at his peak, I think he averaged like 13, 14 points a game. Not a scorer. Bam's not a primary scorer. Like he's not the kind of guy that you go, we run our offense through him, even though he's a really good passer, all around player. He's not a primary scorer. Even on the Heat, their primary scorers are Norman Powell and Tyler Hero. Then Bam. He's their best player, but he's not a primary scorer. Again, I don't have a problem with anyone's criticism. I'm just telling you where I'm going with it. Like, I'm not going to attack Bam. If you want to attack the officials, you want to attack the Heat, Spoelstra, I think you could either spend some time attacking the Wizards for their lack of effort. Because if you watch that game, the Wizards just got to the point where they were like, this guy's getting ready to score a lot of points because we're not going to put up any fight. Like they just gave in.
Yeah, Bam went to the press conference like, "Hey, you don't blame the Wizards coach. You know, they ain't start double teaming me to I had 70 already. Like, but Gene said he ain't like when he went to the press conference and said, Wilt, me, Kobe.
I,
They getting t-shirts with it on and everything. I mean,
I,
it's a little disrespectful, man. That was a little not humbling, but you know, everybody.
I saw the t-shirts, by the way. But look, his lady was wearing one. Asia had a shirt, a t-shirt on that had, I think it was Wilt's 100.
Yeah, they had the 100 emoji, like a Bam emoji.
Then the
And then,
snake.
yeah,
Right.
and then now she got a jersey. They got what was this? It said 83 on it or something. I forget what it said though.
It's
Hey
tough,
man.
man. Yeah. Look, it wasn't done in a beautiful way, and I get why everybody's responding the way they are. But I would look at it like this: it happened. That number is there. In my head, instantly, I went to what players in today's game right now, currently in the NBA, could surpass Bam's 83. And there's like 8 or 9 guys I could think of already who, now I don't know when they could do it, but there's more than a few guys. I would give an example. I think SGA could do it. I think Wemby could do it at some point in his career. Like, I don't think there's no shortage. Donovan Mitchell is still at his peak, as is Booker. There's no shortage of guys who could do it. All things have to come together for that opportunity. You got to have a crazy first half like Bam did, or have a 25-point first half and maybe a 30-point third quarter, something insane to even put you in that situation. So, look, it happened. You know what? I guess it's a great day for Heat Nation. It's definitely a milestone for a guy like Bam. Like I said, you're not gonna, when you talk about the all-time great scorers in the league, you're never gonna bring up Bam Adebayo. But it's gonna be strange. A guy who's not one of the all-time great scorers is gonna be one of the top scores in terms of like most points in a game. That's unique, and maybe that's why everybody's losing it a little bit. But I would spin it this way. To me, Bam scoring 83 points says a lot about this era.
What does it say about his era?
That this is an era where anybody can score. They turned the NBA into Candyland. He wouldn't have been able to get that off in the early 2000s. It wouldn't have happened. Even if he had tried, he wouldn't have been able to do it. See, they get it. They get it. It's Candyland. So I'm just saying, like, and that's not on Bam. He's not the face of the NBA, but this is an era where they talk about everybody's numbers, but it's an era where everybody gets numbers.
True. But I think it's just Bam, you know, like they allowed him to get that off. Like, I don't know. Me as a coach, I probably would have sat the ball if we was up 30. Like, hey, you had enough, bro. Let's focus on other things, man. Like,
I mean, you could have went that way. And what if he had gotten injured or something like that, staying in the game late in a blowout? You know what I mean? Like, it could have gone really bad.
I mean, like the Heat really in contention for anything anyway. They ain't been in contention for anything in a long time. Well, after that, they let Jimmy Buckets go. But I don't know. It's just me, man. I mean, like I said, it's Bam. Like, yeah, maybe I'll let Bam score 70. Then I'm sitting him down.
Yeah.
Other than that,
look, I get it. Like I said,
if you're not a premier player in the league, I'm not letting you score past Kobe or Wilt. Like, that don't look good.
So
like,
my biggest criticism is watching Kobe's game. I felt like I was watching something unique. This is just my opinion. Watching the way things played out with Miami and the Wizards, I didn't feel that way. Honestly, as a Laker fan, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I felt the way I felt when the Lakers beat the Kings in Game 6 in 2002. I felt like that. Like, I'll take the win, but the fact that they call like 100 million fouls on the Kings, that was like one of the worst. That's one of the worst officiated games, if not the worst in basketball history. But I felt that way. Again, that's not on Bam. That's just within how the game went, the lack of competition from the Wizards. And Coach Spo making a decision to go, I'm gonna leave you in, even though we blowing them out by 30.
Indeed. Let's welcome in Will. Will, how you doing this morning, man?
Got a lot going on this morning, guys. How y'all doing?
Hey, what's
You,
going
you
on,
having some
Will?
camera issues, man?
Yeah, amongst other things, but I'm here.
Hey, man, what's your take on Bam dropping 83, man?
I didn't have a problem with it. I'm kind of shocked he got some hate for it. Um, I didn't have a problem with it. It was just one of those games, man. You had it going, and
Let
the
me
other
ask you,
team's gonna have to
why are
stop
you
you.
shocked? Why are you shocked he got hate for it though?
Because I didn't see everything. I was sort of kind of shocked because I didn't think about the Kobe aspect of it at first. I didn't realize that because I thought Bam was popular, well liked amongst the fans and amongst people in the league, and I wasn't thinking about the Kobe aspect till after when people have a
Well,
problem
no,
with it.
I mean Bam
But
is like it ain't about Bam being like that Bam is not a perennial scorer or a superstar in the league. That's the problem.
but every dog has his day. I think his highest before was what,
Mm-mm.
42, 41?
That's cool, but that's not 83. That's not.
No,
You know
but
what I mean? I don't
yeah,
even think people would have had a problem if he scored set. Nobody like let me put it like this. If Joel and B score 83, would anybody have a problem with it?
No,
no,
I
No.
wouldn't.
I
Cause,
wouldn't have a
but
problem with
but
it.
He
he, but
did
he's
before. He
but he's
cooked the
already
spread.
dropped. He's already dropped over 70
That's
before.
what I'm saying. He
Yep,
dropped 70 on Wemby. Yeah, rookie
yep.
Wemby. Would anybody have problem if Jason Tatum scored 83?
Only Gene.
Nah,
Only Gene. He don't like Jason
that's
Tatum.
wrong.
He don't like Jason Tatum.
Now, well, I don't think anybody probably have a problem with Kawhi or Joker or Luca scoring 83.
You know what? I wouldn't have a problem with any of them doing it. I don't think Joker could do it or would do it. I think that his skill set and his game, I don't see Joker ever taking that many shots. But I will say this: Joker could become the first guy to do something else. Like I could see Joker going for like 65, 20, and 20, something like that. Like in the modern era, that would be insane. So I think about that: a 65, 20, 20 game. If anybody could do that, that would be Joker.
See, Gene said it depends on how they do it. See, now getting free throws and your team's trying to force it, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, feeding you when you're hot, yes. Fouling, trying to get the ball back, missing free throws, and all types of craziness they was doing. It looked like a circus a little bit to me, instead of them just letting that happen naturally within the game, the flow of the game. You
So
know what I
you're
mean?
saying your issue with it was the not the first 3 quarters, but the last the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's really that. And the all issue is also that Bam is not a perennial superstar in the league. So they not like you're not a guy we know when the game's on the line, you're going to keep scoring and score 50 or 60 when we need it. You're a 20 guy, 20 and 10 guy every single game, right?
I mean, I guess, but I didn't have a problem with. Like I said, I did have a problem with, like I say, the Kobe aspect of it came into play.
Right, but is that Bam's fault? You know what I'm saying? Will like
No, it's not Bam's
can
fault at all.
can Bam? You know what I mean? Like I said, I keep telling people like if Bam had scored 80, he would have been straight.
Yeah, yeah.
True. So let's move on, fellas. We sat on Bam long enough, man. I want to move over, and a lot of players are reconstructing their contracts, man. To help to get their team get some cap for the season, man. A lot of big moves. Raiders making big moves. Titans making big moves. You got big name superstars, Mahomes. You got Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. They reconstructing their contracts. You know what I mean? Let me ask you this: do you finally think that these guys are taking it serious? I mean, they're not really giving the money up, but they're pushing it into, like their signing bonuses or kicking it down the road so their teams can make more moves to help them win championships. Do you think these superstars are now taking, cap space serious for their team, Mo?
Yeah, look, I think they're taking it serious, but you got to remember when they restructured the contract, all they did was, like you said, kick the money down the road, but they're still going to get their money. You know what I mean? It's not like they're getting shortchanged. And if you want to win, you got a choice. You could take all the money and your team isn't as flexible and they can't add assets that can help you, then you can't complain. The Ravens have done everything they can to help Lamar Jackson to set him up for success, including what they've done so far this offseason. So, look, Lamar restructuring his deal, I think that's another way to help himself. Um, I think Josh Allen doing the same thing. Look, they're all taking a page from what Tom Brady did with the Patriots for years on years. He knew he was going to get his money, but he also knew he wanted to win.
What you think, Will?
Repeat that question one more time. I want to make sure I
I said,
understood.
do you think the superstars was like, the younger guys like Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen and them, they're reconstructing their contracts? You think they're taking it more serious now that they want to build a team and win games?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Particularly Josh and particularly Lamar.
So, Will, I'm gonna get Eric DeCosta said Max Crosby didn't pass his physical just a couple months after he done had a surgery to repair his meniscus. So guess what? The trade was rescinded, and uh, Max Crosby he's going back to he's staying with the Raiders for now. Um, how did you? What's your reaction to DeCosta pulling the plug on the trade?
I know some owners, some other people in the league take issue with it. I don't. Um, you had until Wednesday before I think 4 o'clock last week to make that official. So you had the right to rescind it if you saw something you didn't like. Um, the only thing I didn't like about it, the Raiders had already went out and signed X amount of players with the money they thought they would have, not count on the books. So now they kind of put the Raiders in a bad spot. But hey, you got Trey Hendrickson. You still keep your 2 first-round picks. So it works out good for Baltimore. Now it's up to the Raiders to pivot and try to make that work on their end. Can they get 2 first-round picks again? Probably not. But maybe a second and a third. We'll see.
Well, what's your take on it? DeCosta pulled the plug on the trade.
I think DaCosta slept on it and thought about it. I was like, that's a steep price, bro.
Steep price.
That's a steep price for a dude coming off of an injury, and he's not 100%. And when is he gonna be 100%? Good for him. Sometimes it's the moves you don't make that help your franchise. And I think between the two players, Hendrickson, they're both terrific players, but I think Crosby's the better player when they're both right. Um, but if you can get Hendrickson, who can supplement some of what Crosby can do, and keep your picks, keep your assets, I think DeCosta made the right move. It might not. I'm sure the Raiders didn't love it, but again, good on him. He didn't sign anything; it wasn't official, so he has every right to pull out and go in another direction.
Raiders got to pivot now. They got to
So
definitely pivot.
So my thing is though, I think people more so had a problem with, is DeCosta the way he moves. It seems a little shady. I don't, you know what I mean? Because he trying to say Max Crosby, he didn't pass a physical. Of course, he wasn't going to pass a physical, and you should have known that, right? As a GM, you should know he wasn't going to pass a physical like a couple months after he done had a surgery. But he turned around, Mo, signed Trey Henderson, who also had surgery for his hip and back in
True.
December, but signed him to a 4-year, $112 million contract. But what did he just forget Hendrickson was in the free agency and he traded for Max Crosby? Like, I don't know. But what's your thoughts on him signing, Hendrickson days later?
Look, I just think that he made a move, thought about it, and he redirected his course. Like, I think the more he thought about it, him and his team, I think they thought about the bigger picture and what they could do with those picks and the impact that a veteran like Henderson coming in could do for them versus what you would have to give up to bring in Max Crosby. So I'm not, again, I think Max Crosby's the better player, but that doesn't mean Trey Hendrickson won't be productive for the Ravens, and they keep those 2 picks. So I think if I were him and I was in his shoes, well, if I was in his shoes, I would have never traded for Max Crosby. But I think that the fact that he thought about it and redirected his way of thinking and said, there's a smarter way to go about this. We can bring in a guy who's a terrific edge rusher, who's not quite Max Crosby, but we can also keep our assets at the same time. So I got no problem with it.
I don't know. I think it was a little shady move, man.
Now
I
there's
mean,
rumor.
is it shady though? You know how many times the Raiders have been shady? So the one time the Raiders are the Raiders are on the short end of the stick of a shady deal. Like what? Welcome to the real world. Like the Raiders been doing that for years.
Now don't forget too, fellas. There were talks of them having, even though they had Max Crosby, there were also talks of Trey Henderson being in the room while you had Max Crosby under tow. So it could have been the Raiders could have had both those guys.
Mm. I don't know how that would have worked out for the Ravens cap.
Ravens, I'm sorry.
I don't know how it would have worked out for their cap because they're losing a lot, man. You forget they lost Tyler Lindenbaum, another to the Raiders.
Yeah, their center. Yeah.
They lost the lineman. Lamar's line wasn't really that good last year. They was getting Swiss cheesed up. They also lost Keaton Mitchell to the Chargers.
Yep.
So what's your thoughts? Oh, Isaiah Likely went to follow Coach Harbaugh in the Big Apple, man. They lost their other backup tight end. I forgot who he went to. Charlie Kohler. So they're on there. They got one tight end on their roster, Mark Andrews. So Ravens is losing some key pieces out there, man. What's your reaction to them right now losing some key pieces, Mo?
I just think they're making some calculations on who you want to keep, who you want to pay. I think they already knew ahead of time they weren't going to pay Likely what he was looking for, so I knew they were going to lose him. The fact that he ended up with Harbaugh, it doesn't really shock me. But look, the Ravens have put together year after year a loaded squad on both sides of the ball. The season hasn't started yet, and they still have their picks. I think when it's all said and done, they'll have another loaded squad on both sides of the football. The only question will be is, will they do what we projected them to do last year, or will they underachieve like they did last year?
True.
I love Likely to the Giants. I love it.
I mean, it gives the Giants Jackson Dart a vertical threat at the tight end position. Because if you really watch Likely play, he plays more like a wide receiver than he does a tight end.
Yep,
he does. But don't you think the Ravens need him more than Mark Andrews he's early 30s, but he playing like he's 40 already.
Well, you do have a draft ahead of you. You do have that. Free agency is nowhere near over, so you can always go out and replace the talent.
Yeah.
You're not gonna replace Tyler Lindenbaum in the draft, though, man. Like that's your center.
No, the center's a huge loss, not just for obviously Lamar Jackson, but that greatly impacts their run game. Your center is the QB of your offensive line, so I'm not arguing that.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that part. Yeah.
But I can't tell you what the Ravens roster is. I can't give it a grade because it's incomplete because we haven't had the draft yet.
True. Moving on to Mr. Kyler Murray is heading to Minnesota for 1-year deal, man. Time for Kyler Murray to put up or become a professional Call of Duty player because he's on a 1-year deal this year, so he's gonna have to perform when he's in the game. Will, what you think about Kyler Murray going to Minnesota?
I like the move because of the coaching staff there. I think they can get the most out of him, but this is definitely a year that Kyler's gonna have to show everybody that he can be a true NFL quarterback. And he's gonna also have to do something that he hadn't been able to do. He's gonna have to be able to stay healthy. And if he can stay healthy with that line, Justin Jefferson and the rest of the crew, TJ Hawkinson, he might be able to get some things done if he can stay healthy and focused.
Mo, what's your take on Murray to the Minnesota?
Well, he's going to a strong organization, a team that doesn't lack for talent, especially on the offensive side of football. One of the best defensive coordinators in football. Look, everything's there for Kyler Murray in Minnesota to be a legit contender in the NFC. And look, the Vikings won. I think they won 8 or 9 games, and they had terrible quarterback play. if Kyler Murray comes in and just gives you solid, not even spectacular, but solid quarterback play with that team, that's an 11, 12 win team. But if he plays up to his talent, the sky's the limit. So look, I think Kyler Murray makes Minnesota a playoff contender. I'm not going to go crazy and say Super Bowl contender, but I think he makes them a playoff contender.
That was gonna be my next question. Well, what you think, man? Healthy and consistent Murray gonna make Vikings as a playoff team?
Yeah, I think so. I think they can be a playoff. I don't think they go any further than that expectation, but certainly playoff contender for sure.
So another thing happened in the league. Captain Kurt is out. Entered Tua Tagovailoa for the Atlanta Falcons. They now have two left-handed injury-prone quarterbacks. Man, what's your reaction to this, Mo?
When they went and got Tua, I thought so. Basically, they're replacing Penix with a little bit slightly older Penix. I'm just saying there's some similarities because Tua is very accurate, but he doesn't necessarily push the ball down the field consistently. I think Tua is capable of being a very good quarterback. I don't want to say elite because I never thought he was that. But Atlanta was kind of in a bind. They didn't want to go forward with Captain Kurt, which I get that. And nobody knew Penix's health situation. He probably wasn't going to be ready for the start of the season. So bringing in Tua made sense to me. You wanted a starting quarterback who can come in and run the offense and can be effective. And I think he can do that. The question with Tua is, you all know this, is the first time he gets hit, is he getting up? Like that's the problem with him. He is the most brittle man in the NFL. So the fear is, what happens when he gets blindsided or just slung to the ground? Is he going to pop back up, or is he going to be out for 2 or 3 games? So I look, for what they missed out on and what they needed, I think he serves a need. I think he answers the bell for what they need.
Will, what's your thoughts on this?
I'm kind of conflicted because at one point I've never been a Michael Penix guy, so I get it, but you're replacing him pretty much with the same dude. Maybe a little bit of maybe a little bit, a little bit more accurate. Knows the game a little bit more because his time and experience, but he's also injury prone. So I don't get it. I don't know why you would sign an injury-prone quarterback. Yeah, I know it's a team-friendly deal and all that stuff, and I understand that. But why would you replace a guy with the history of your guy under contract now? I don't understand that. I don't get it. I agree with that last comment. I would have to Willis myself. I know it's a small sample size, but I would have took my chances there. I just don't understand why this signing became to be, because both guys are injury prone. So you got one dude on the shelf, another dude come up, maybe in the second quarter, takes a blindside sack. He hurt. Here comes your third string.
Put a guardian helmet on.
I just don't get it. Well, have to. You're going to have to.
You're going to have to. He need like a double guardian helmet on.
Yeah.
No, I get the trepidation with Tua. Look, if it were me and I was Atlanta, I would have been looking to pursue Kyler Murray. I would have thought Kyler Murray would have been a great option for Atlanta, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I love this signing because I'm a Saints fan. Hell yeah, I love this signing because I'm a Saints fan. Hell yeah.
Saints still got some more building to do, man.
We do, but we're in the right direction. Mickey finally doing a little something.
Let me ask you: has Tyler Shutt made you a believer, Will?
I'm waiting. I'm waiting. And I hate to say this, guys. I really do, because I don't wish bad on nobody. But the other shoe hasn't dropped yet on him, and he's also another dude that has an injury history. Someone in college, he didn't play the whole season this year. He's going to be the man this year, so health also becomes an issue with him too. And I'm concerned about it because if he gets hurt, who gets back right back in the game? Spencer Rattler. So damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Hmm. Oh, the Saints did sign Travis Achan. Did
Yes.
y'all know that his name is A-Train and not ETN like everybody been saying?
Yeah, I saw that.
Man, everybody been saying that for like 6 years.
Oh yeah, ever since he got in
Really?
the league.
Yeah, he went to press conference and said he was like, "Yeah, everybody been pronouncing it wrong. You know, they been. I just told him because they couldn't pronounce it the way it's supposed to be pronounced, so he just told him to call him ETN. But it's called his name is Travis Achan. But go ahead,
what
Will.
what does this say? You keeping Kamara?
Nah, I think y'all moving off
I
Kamara.
think he's done.
You need to release Kamara so he can sign with the 49ers.
God damn.
What? I'm
You
trying to
are,
help. I'm trying to
bro.
help. I'm trying to help this guy out.
What is this? Like I got two dual thread running backs that can be what like that's mad OD, man. So we gonna have to
That's smart.
speak
That's smart.
speaking of signing with your team, but we gonna get to it. You know what I'm talking about, Mo. But go ahead, Will. How you
um,
feel about Travis Achan coming to your team?
I like the move. He's still young. Came off, I believe he came off 1,000 yards last season. So I like the move a lot. Lions got to the lines got to get better though. O lines got to get better. Um, and then the talent behind him, if we don't keep Kamara is a concern. Um, Devin Neal and the boys got to see what they can do if for some reason he goes down. But I like the move initially, and they need to continue to build that offensive line.
Mo, what you think about Travis Achan going to the Saints?
It's an upgrade for them. It gives them a versatile back. It gives you and what's a young quarterback's best friend? A strong run game and a really good tight end. Well, they got the strong run game. I think if they continue to build out that offensive line, HN also he's effective outside in the backfield as a receiver as well. So it's an upgrade for them. I mean I'm joking about what they may do or not do with Kamara, but look, Kamara's been a really good play. It's real weird because he's a very familiar name throughout the league, and the perception might be like Alvin Kamara is like had multiple 1,000 yard seasons and made all kind of Pro Bowls, but the reality is I don't think he's ever rushed for 1,000 yards.
No, he never
Nah,
has.
he never has.
So
He never has. No.
what he is he's a very good player, and so I think the Saints have made a move that can help them in the present and the future. And I'm sure wherever Alvin Kamara lands, be it as a starter or in a different role, he'll still be an effective player.
In other news, Mo, the Niners made a move, man, picking up Mike Evans, the Bucks legend, man, heading to Sunshine, California, man, to pair it with your boy Brock Purdy, man. What's your reaction to this acquisition?
He obviously upgrades the receiving room, but I I would be one of those people to err on caution because we're not getting Mike Evans in his prime. We're getting the current version of Mike Evans. He's certainly better than anybody in our receiving room, but I, I don't. I think they need to add some more to their receiving core. And as gifted as Mike Evans was, I mean, he's kind of a guy that only does like two different routes. So um, we're better for having him. But I don't think Mike Evans is getting ready to come to the Niners and having like an 88 reception season with 1,200 yards. So I think his value will be in the red zone.
Will, what you think? How you feel about this acquisition for the Niners?
I like the signing. Because look, you're not keeping Ayuk. Um, I don't know if the rumors of Debo coming back are true.
No,
So
no,
you had,
no,
I
no.
don't know if the rumors are true,
Debo coming back home.
but you had to do something. You lost Kendrick Bourne. Um, you don't know if you're gonna keep Jennings. So you had to do something to add to that receiver room, and I think this is a good move for them to keep everything going in our wide receiver room. I think this is a good move. Mo campaign for Debo.
No, come on, Kyle. You know me better than no, I'm not. But all jokes aside, I'll say this: knowing John Lynch, yeah, Debo will be back.
So let me ask y'all this, man. What, where do you see the Niners repeating the performance, man? They still got to be, well, you should be getting everybody back besides and
Well, you got to check on Kittle.
oh
Let's
yeah,
start.
Kittle
You got
is
to
hurt.
check on Kittle because he's at an age and an injury right now. So you got to check on Kittle.
So this is what I want to bring up, and this is my point. One, we overachieved last season. I think everybody would agree on that. Two, we had a really easy schedule last season. We won't have that same schedule this year. Three, your skilled position players, C-Mac and Kittle, they're both on the other side of 30 and they're both injury prone. As gifted as they are. Throw,
See, Mac had
throw
a healthy season, man.
right, but what is C-Mac's history? Every time he has a healthy season, he follows it up with a season where he plays like 5 games. And he's going to be a year older. Mike Evans is also in the same boat as C-Mac and Kittle. He's older and more injury prone. So I think the Niners will be a playoff contender, but anybody that thinks they're going to have a better record than they did last year because they're getting all these guys back, that's not reality.
Well, what you think? Repeat performance for the Niners?
No, because of the schedule and because you have some questions, um, wide receiver wise, and if Kittle comes back, I think I still think they remain not as successful as they were last season, but I think they take a step back. I think they take a step back until things can get better player personnel wise.
Yeah, and I'm not saying they won't be good. I just like Will said, I just don't think we're going to win 12, 13 games.
Yeah, you taking a step back this season. If you'll be good. If you win 8 or 9, you're good.
Well, I was a little bit more optimistic than that, but okay.
8 or 9.
So
The question goes this, Mo, because you just brought it up, and I know some of my fantasy guys are going to be looking at this. You taking CMC in any fantasy draft after the year he had last year?
I'm not. I would look. I know some people that you play a lot of fantasy. I really don't play a lot of fantasy, but I do know how guys like value health and availability. If you know his history, that I would not pick C-Mac. And the offensive line might not be as good because they're having problems with Trent Williams and his contract. If you don't have Trent Williams, you definitely setting C-Mac up for failure. My point was bring the idea of Kamara was that Kamara could come in and take some of those carries, some of those catches off C-Mac's body.
Right.
They're both on the other side of 30. They could help each other out.
Yeah, good 1-2 punch.
Right. Instead of just putting everything on C-Mac. And yes, getting Fred Warner back, the heart and soul of the defense, is going to be great. But Fred Warner only plays on defense. I just don't know what the offense is going to look like.
I think y'all going to be solid, man. Your coach never lets down for offensive wise, man. He's an offensive genius. So.
He is an offensive genius, but John Lynch is a cheap ass.
I mean, yes and no, because if you got the right defensive coordinator, as was proven, it didn't matter who y'all had out there playing. The scheme.
Who's DC now with Robert Saleh?
Yeah, but we don't have Saleh. Saleh gone.
Yeah, Saleh gone.
That's what I'm saying. But with the acquisition of the right, head defensive coordinator, it didn't matter. Y'all was performing whether your schedule was hard or soft. You know,
I agree with what you said, but I'm going to say this: whoever comes in, they're a downgrade from Saleh.
Yep. Yep.
The bar of expectation has been set at a ridiculous high. Do you think if your defensive coordinator don't perform this year, you see him getting fired after year one?
I mean, I don't know if Lynch will fire him after year one. I would, but I don't know if Lynch would.
That dude might be out of there faster than what Steve Wilkes was.
Sheesh, man.
Wilkes stunk. He stunk, man.
So,
yeah.
we gonna revisit this conversation. So the Chiefs was hurt last year. They are coming back healthy. Mahomes should be playing week 1. Due to technology and science, reconstructions and player recovery is a lot faster. So he should be back week 1. And the Chiefs also picked up the Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker III. I don't think they had a running back of this caliber since Priest Holmes. So
That's a while.
He
look,
going a while back, man.
Wow. I agree. By the way, I agree.
Yeah.
well, let me
Yeah.
ask you this, Mo. Is the Chiefs offense now going to be higher than 10 heading into next season?
9.
You also got to look at the fact Rasheed
No,
Rice ain't no guarantee.
right. Look, I feel like I hope I'm wrong, but I feel like Rasheed Rice is going to be one of those guys that we always talk about. It could be a top 10 wide receiver, but there will always be something either on the field or off the field going on with him that'll prevent that. Their offensive line still needs some work. Like getting Kenneth Walker can help you, but if the offensive line isn't settled, it doesn't matter who you have back there at running back.
I forgot about Jamal Charles.
I think
You
Jamal
don't think the
Charles
running back
was
will
nice.
take pressure off Mahomes?
I forgot about Jamal Charles.
Not if he's getting tackled 2 yards in the backfield. Like I mean, you're at the mercy of the offensive line. I don't care how great a running back you are. If the offensive line is average or subpar, then he's not going to look as good. Ideally, you bring in Kenneth Walker because you think he's a 12 to 1,300 yard back, and that would take a huge amount of pressure off of Patrick Mahomes. So I know what the plan is. And I think Andy Reid is still one of the great offensive minds in football. It's just a matter of it all coming together. So a lot of people think Kansas City will be fully healthy with new weapons, and they're going to go back to taking over the AFC West. I'm going to say that Kansas City is still at best the third best team in the AFC West.
Woo. With Mahomes and Kenneth Walker?
They had Mahomes last year. They didn't do too much but get in the lottery. So I mean, I bringing in Kenneth Walker helps Patrick Mahomes if the offensive line is a cohesive unit. If not,
I'm guessing.
will it
Well, you got
matter?
to think about it. You got a running back who can perform like Pachenko. He's not really a good running back, but Kenneth Walker, he gets patient, and once he gets in that second level, he can get up out of there real quick. So he proven he can make it happen. So now teams are going to have to choose: are you going to try to stop Kenneth Walker, or are you going to play stack the box, or are you going to play prevent to stop Mahomes from deep bombing you? Right?
Yes, if the running game works that well. But what if he gets stumped at the line of scrimmage and they find themselves in a lot of third and longs? I'm just saying. I know what the plan
You must have a
is.
great front forward to stop Kenneth Walker.
If the Chiefs' offensive line is a top offensive line, if they're the
Well, I
offensive
say
line,
they're like middle of the pack, close to the end, right?
well, if they're a middle pack offensive line, you have a middle pack run game.
Well, what you think, man? The Chiefs offense higher than 10 heading in the
No.
next season?
No,
No?
I'll give him an 8.
Give
I'll
them
give
8.
him an 8.
Hey, Will Wood. I think Will Wood really high 8.
The offensive line still needs work there, like Mo was saying. If you don't have a good offensive line, don't matter what running back you got back there, your running game is not going to be that good. Then you're bringing back Travis Kelce, which I don't know if I agree with or not, given the way he looked the past couple seasons.
I knew Kelsey wasn't going to go out like that. That was a terrible season to retire on.
This season might be a terrible season to retire on, but at some point he got to go. At some point he got to go. But I love the signing. He's way better than Pacheco. Detroit's gonna find that out real quick. But that offensive line has got to strengthen itself. And like I said, you got to draft in. Free agency still not over with to get that line better to help things for both Kenneth Walker and Patrick Mahomes. I just hope that they get the Rasheed Rice situation fixed. That he'll be able to play this year. That's what it all comes down to for me. If you can get Rice in the game,
but they still got Xavier Worthy. You got Hollywood.
We got to stop with the Xavier Worthy stuff. Like,
we got to stop with that Worthy stuff.
Let's keep it.
Picked up Kenneth Walker the third.
Let's keep it 100 about Worthy. He's really fast, but he's an average receiver at best. Like if he go on any team, Worthy's a third or fourth receiver.
He's a fast jag.
Like for what they drafted him for, bust.
He's a fast jag.
Man.
Fast just.
What you really expect? The Chiefs on they draft bottom. It was drafting bottom of the pack every year. So I mean,
And
He
all,
didn't.
and
Well, he didn't
and Mo
disappoint. He's bottom of the pack.
and Mo, the only reason why I give him an 8 is because you do have a healthy Patrick Mahomes coming back, so that can change some things for them.
Look, we always think that Mahomes is going to put on that Superman jacket whenever he wants to. I'm about to say this: he ages just like everybody else ages, and while he's aging, his division has only gotten better. So now you're dealing with the Chargers and you're dealing with the Broncos.
funny Kyle.
I'm not
You got a
sure.
point.
I'm not sure how he carries them.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, man. But Raiders have been spending some money and doing trades, man. My thing is though, do you see them being a playoff team this year with all the acquisitions they are picking up? They got Tyler Lindenbaugh.
With a
They got
rookie quarterback, no.
They got N'Kobe Dean from the Eagles.
I got
they got
questions.
Quay Walker from
I
the
got question
Packers.
almost on all those cats they signed.
They got Jalen
outside of
Naylor.
Lindenbaugh.
They also got Max Crosby back because of the rescinded trade, and they also got
He ain't gonna be there.
10 draft picks this draft. So, Will, I'm gonna start with you, man. Go ahead.
Not with a rookie quarterback. And plus, outside of that Lindenbaugh deal, I got questions about all those other cats.
CJ Stroud wasn't
That you-
playoffs his first year.
That
And Jalen Daniels, they tore it up.
Hey, like I
You
say,
thi-
I love
you think-
I love
You
them
think
getting
You think Mendoza and Stroud or Jaden Daniels? Because I think that's high praise. Like
high praise.
I think it's high praise. I don't think
high praise.
You
You
never
don't even know
until
what he's
you-
gonna be yet.
You never know until you know, right?
I'll put it this
Nah.
way: if you're a betting man, would you bet your money on the Ravens or the Raiders making the playoffs? Because I'm gonna say the Raiders are gonna be respectable, but they're definitely not gonna make the playoffs.
Okay. Will?
They'll be respectable. Because they got a new regime down there, and their offense is going to be a little bit more caught up to what the rest of the offense in the league look like. But no playoffs.
No playoffs for them. So
Particularly in that division.
Look, I like Mendoza, but I don't think he's gonna come into the league like a phenom. I don't think he's one of
No.
those ones.
you never know, Mo. Until you know, man.
All right. Well, like I said, Raiders fans don't make plans for the playoffs.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
So this is just it. I just want to touch on this real quick, man. The NBA will hold a board vote with the governors March 24th and 25th to explore adding expansion teams exclusively in Las Vegas and Seattle. The Seattle Supersonics may be coming back.
I love it.
The two franchises targeted for 2028 and 29 season. How do we like this, Mo?
I'm excited for it. I think Seattle is a great sports city. And bringing back I hope they bring back the Sonics like in all their glory, the colors and everything. So I think it's a great idea. Love that. And Vegas is one of them places for the longest you kind of wonder why they didn't have an NBA franchise. So that makes sense to me as well, especially economically. So I think it's great for the league that they're expanding a little bit.
Will, what you think?
I was born in Burien, Washington, raised in Augusta, Georgia. I love it. I love the fact that Seattle's going to get their team back. Should never lost it in the first place. Stupid city government. But but yeah, I love it. I love it, man. Bring the NBA back to Seattle. Now, granted, the last time we saw a championship there, it was the Jordan Key Arena, but I'm loving it. And Vegas makes so much sense money wise. That a team can flourish there as well. So yeah, bring the Sonics back.
Yeah, and bring them back and reestablish that relationship with the community by bringing back some of your old stars. So I would bring back Gary Payton and Kemp and others to where you can kind of reconnect to the community and stuff when you bring back the franchise.
Oh yeah.
Now, do you think the NBA is pushing this now because of their ratings?
Possibly, but
Maybe.
People been asking for the Supersonics to come back for a decade since they left.
But
Almost 2 decades now.
But it'll be good, a good hearted story for the league. But at the end of the day, ain't nothing changing those broadcast deals. Ain't nothing changing those. So while this would be a shot in the arm for the league, some nostalgia with the Supersonics, some a great move, a new team in Vegas, it ain't gonna supersede any of those broadcast deals. They still gonna go through with them. But it'd be a nice PR stunt and a nice shot in the arm.
And by the way, because it is about making money, you add 2 expansion clubs, that kills any more talk about them shortening the season. They're not shortening the season.
Nope. Nope.
So, Will, you can go ahead and take the floor.
I just wanted to ask you, Mo, very, very quickly. We had AEW Revolution last night. We got a Ronda Rousey sighting last night. She was in the ring for a little bit. Were you excited to see Ronda back?
No.
Don't do Ronda like that, man.
I don't know, man. I didn't think she was that good a performer when she was in WWE. Because she's kind of a one-trick pony, so she can only perform at a certain level. So look, I'm not excited. I will say this, because AEW is a lot more over the top than WWE. Maybe they can bring out a better version of her, a more entertaining version. So I should hold my judgment and see how they do it, because AEW, for better or worse, they actually put on very good, entertaining pay-per-views. So props to them. And
the thing with me that kind of got under my skin for a little bit, because after Ronda got done with that WWE run, she was talking mad stuff about professional wrestling. And I think it's kind of funny that you were talking mad stuff about professional wrestling, but where are you now? Back in professional wrestling.
Yeah. Isn't it funny how that works?
Yeah.
I'm I'm not saying she can't be entertaining. I just wasn't that big a fan of her first run at WWE. Like I said, Tony Khan and company, maybe they can do more with her, pour more out of her, get more of a personality from her. We'll see.
Yeah. All right, that's all I got, comment.
So, Amy posed the question, man. Why do y'all think Magic City event was canceled? I know why they canceled it. I want y'all thoughts on why y'all think it was canceled. Go ahead, Mo.
I'll just say it like this. If me, you, and Will are sitting here in a private chat after the show talking about the Boom Boom Room, that's one thing. But the NBA trying to celebrate their relationship with the Boom Boom Room, that's a PR nightmare.
Yeah, you can't have that, man.
And while it might be popular in the city of Atlanta, it's not going to be popular league wide.
Right.
So I totally get why they nixed that.
Yeah.
Will?
I understand too. And I would more on this. You can't have stuff like that going on. While it would be a big thing locally for Atlanta, Utah ain't gonna care. None of these other cities are gonna care. So you had to nix that, man. You had to.
I mean, my thing is though, Dr. Bus, the one that started the Lake Show. You know what I mean? Did y'all forget that? He had the girls in there with the mini skirts dancing and all types of crazy stuff.
That a little bit different though.
He turned it out, but the thing is that they wasn't going halftime show, roll out poles in the middle of the court and start letting them like, come on, man. They wasn't even gonna let the dancers down. I don't even think the dancers was gonna be there. I think it was just, it was gonna be a lemon pepper wings and them just showing some appreciation to how much, Magic City meant to Atlanta, because it's been a part of the culture for so long. So, you know what I mean? I don't think it was going to be nothing crazy, but they saying the dancers wasn't going to show up, but I'm sure the dancers probably would have pulled up in plain clothes and been in the crowd somewhere. You know what I mean?
No, but that's the point, Carmike, right? I think that makes sense. And if you said the Atlanta Hawks organization, they were just doing a celebration and it had nothing to do with the NBA as a whole, maybe you could have pulled that off. But apparently, if you listen to Adam Silver, he had no idea about it until it was announced. And then when he found out about it, of course, Adam Silver made a phone call and said, "No, you're not doing that." Like,
I
look,
don't think Adam would have cared. But I think he made a fuss because the media and people started making, oh, kids are gonna be there at the game, and you got exotic strip club night. You know what I mean? Like,
I get it, and look, you're right. The it's not like the ladies would have showed up in their work attire. I'm sure they would have been wearing. I'm just saying they would have been wearing clothes.
you know,
Come
Mo,
on, man, give me a break.
that's one of those things where people need to be like, hey, Junior, you can't come tonight. You gonna have to stay
But
home.
Dad,
Me and the fellas
but
is going.
Dad,
We're going to the Hawks game tonight.
but
You know
Dad,
what
I
I mean?
want to see. I want to see everybody play, Dad. Come on, don't do this to me, Dad.
You should
No,
have
don't worry about it.
scheduled. You should have scheduled it when they playing like the Jazz. Junior wouldn't have wanted to see that game.
I don't even know why anybody cared. Trey Young not playing. Andy, whoever else is out there and not playing. I mean, not Trey Young. Who is out in the Hawks anyway anymore?
Johnson,
I don't even.
Yeah,
JJ.
you gotta worry about Jalen Johnson.
Nobody even there anymore. Like, leave your kids at home. They ain't not missing nothing special. Leave your kids at home. We going out tonight, Mo and Will.
We going on out.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm just being clear. My wife watches this show, so I'm not.
I would be going.
I'm not going anywhere.
I would. I'd have seen.
I ain't got one of them, so I'm cool, Carmike. I ain't got none of that.
Y'all.
Hell no, I ain't got none of that.
You two go. I'll chill.
Hey, listen.
Nah, I can't
listen.
go.
Them honey-do things over for me. Yeah, no, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate everybody stopping through today on the Wire to Wire Network on Coffee and Sports this morning show. Man, Will, you have any closing remarks for our people?
Yeah. Everything will be straight for me on by tonight for the Sports Report podcast, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on Wire to Wire Network. Definitely check us out. We're gonna talk about all the NFL signings, some NBA news, everything that goes down in the world of sports. Catch us tonight, the Sports Report podcast, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on Wire to Wire Network.
Don't forget open night coming up for MLB, and don't forget to talk about Magic City tonight on the Sports Report.
Let's talk about Magic
City. And as always, if you're Mo better, you do better. Close this out, big dog.
Hey, thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. Make sure you check out all the great content we have at Wire to Wire Network. Wire to Wire Network, we appreciate you.